Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BNI Success Link Podcast. Today, we are going to talk about finding your link to success in business with Bob Arzt,
the official podcast of BNI Success Link, your link to success.
Hello again, everyone. I'm your host, Rav Mandiratha from Social Squares, where landing leads is where our business leads. Today, we are lucky to have an expert business coach and sales coach with us who's going to share some great insights on issues business owners face and business coaches can also learn from. And we have with us Bob Arzt. Welcome, Bob, and thank you so much for doing this.
Rav, thank you. Happy to help.
Bob, can you quickly introduce yourself, because I won't do justice to your intro, and tell us more about your business as well.
Thank you. So my company is Polaris One, named for the North Star. So your guide to success. I'm a business, sales, executive, and leadership coach. I've been doing this for about 20 years, and I specialize in helping people, business owners and salespeople and managers with time management, practice management, effectively working with teams, effective delegation. I help people overcome the challenges that are preventing them from achieving their goals. So that's a specialty of mine. And I work mostly in the financial services and insurance field, but about 40% of my clients come from the private sector, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people who are out making it happen every day.
That's awesome. So financial services being one of the toughest category to work in, I'm sure the viewers today would learn a lot. So let's start with, what would you say are the top 3 issues every small business owner faces, regardless of any vertical or sector they come from?
So actually, I'll give you 4. There's a bonus one in there. So the first I would say is an unclear vision or mission. They say, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there, right? So being really clear about that, and that leads into goal clarity, which is the second one. Because without crystal clear goals, you become subject to distractions. Those distractions lead to a loss of focus. And it's actually that loss of focus that prevents you from achieving not only what it is you want to achieve, but also within the time frame you want to achieve it. The next, I would just say, in general, misuse of time. Time management has been an issue that so many people struggle with. Years ago, I wrote an online course to help business owners improve in their time management. And tied to that is the bonus one, the 4th issue, which is poor delegation. If you are fortunate enough to have a team, oftentimes most people just don't know how to delegate effectively. They say it's so much quicker and easier if they do it themselves rather than delegate it to somebody else. And I tell people that's kind of an okay, very short-term strategy, but it's a terrible long-term strategy. So a lot of sub-issues in those 4, but those are the 4 main ones: unclear vision or mission, the goal clarity issue, misuse of time, and ineffective or poor delegation.
That's so true. And the last one I totally concur with. I see myself and some of my senior team members also doing that. They would rather do things themselves because their team members might take longer. So thank you so much for highlighting that. Now, let's talk about, and this might be closely connected to the issues, but what are the top 3 things you recommend every new business owner should work on or think about as they get started?
Well, let's go back to the goal clarity piece. As important as goal clarity is, and it's super critically important, even more important than that is the why behind each goal. I've seen people have beautiful written out lists of goals, but sometimes they're only nice to have things. It's not gotta take it to the bank, gotta make it happen kind of goals. So the why behind the goal becomes critical. The next question is, once you know what those goals are, I continuously ask my clients this question: what is the highest and best use of your time right now? And maybe that's this hour, or maybe today, or this week, or month, or quarter, but what is the highest and best use of your time right now to achieve what it is you want to achieve? When you ask yourself that question, I'll often suggest you keep a log of all of those things that you are doing that do not represent the highest and best use of your time. And that's where the effective team management and team delegation comes into play. But you need that guiding light of the goal clarity to figure out your highest and best use of time. The goal clarity helps you prioritize, helps you make decisions all day long about, it's not where you spend your time so much, it's where you invest your time. You want a return on your investment, right? And so the goal clarity, highest and best use of time, and then if you're fortunate enough to have a team or someone you could delegate to, then can you do that in the most effective and efficient way?
I love the way you put it, spending time versus investing time. I think that's a great lens anybody, especially business owners, should have, because at the end of the day, it's our time which will make us money. That's awesome. Now let's shift gears from business owners to business coaches. You have been a business coach for 20 plus years, and I'm sure other business coaches can learn a lot from you, especially if they're getting started. So what would you say are the top 3 things which most business coaches miss out on?
So oftentimes people get into this line of work in different ways, right? And so most people in business will tell you the best way to do business is through referrals, and everyone's appreciative when they get them. But many do not have a specific referral strategy on how to consistently get referrals. So you could join a networking group. You could be part of a chamber. You could be part of your community. There's lots of things that you can do, but you need some goals around what is your referral strategy going to be. And so that's one area I think I've seen lacking. The other is many people look at the word sales as a 4-letter word, but it is not. There's lots of techniques and things people can do to enhance their ability to get people to see that their solution is the best solution for them, so they say yes. So closing the sale for most people is difficult. It should be actually the easiest step in the sales process is the close, if you've done everything else properly. So improving sales skills, and you need to work at it. You need to practice, right? And the last, I would say, it's kind of both personal and business. It's work-life balance. You don't want to be working thinking you should not be working, maybe home with your family or significant others. And when you're with family or significant others, you don't want to be consumed with, I should be working, right? So having that right work-life balance based on your goals and what you want to achieve is critically important. So many times people go at 150%, right? And you could do that for short periods of time, but if you do it for too long, something bad is going to happen. Your body's going to rebel, or you've taken on too many clients to be able to service them properly or effectively, and you start losing them. So having that good work-life balance, and unfortunately you have to work at it all the time. Even after you get it right, you tend to lose it. You got to come back to it. So those are the top 3 that I see. That's
awesome. Those are some really, really valuable insights. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I have one last question for you, and I got to ask this just because it's part of my day-to-day, right? What is the best digital marketing strategy that you've used or seen working for business coaches or sales coaches like you?
So that's a great question. I could tell you what has worked for me. Many years ago, I wrote a book called What Every Great Salesperson Knows, a No-Nonsense Guide to Sales Success. And I was going to sell it. And you can still buy it on Amazon. But my wife convinced me, you got to give this away. So people could download a free PDF on my website. That let me capture their email addresses. And then I was able to do my newsletter, my outreach, right? In my newsletter, I gave people a summary or the first paragraph, but if they wanted to finish it, they had to click. That took them to my website. And hopefully then on my website, they could explore around, see my other blogs, sign up for the newsletter, sign up for a free coaching session, or download my free book. For me, the newsletter and the website were the things that worked best. I did pay per click. I hired a LinkedIn coach, and for 6 months worked LinkedIn quite a bit. And I would just say I did not get the results that everyone else seemed to be getting. So for me, the networking through my newsletter and website worked best. But I'm open to hear ideas. What am I missing and how could I improve?
Sure. Thank you so much for sharing this, though. It's great to hear that newsletter marketing works for you, and the strategy which you use with a free download, we call that the squeeze page in our digital marketing terminology. Another strategy, which is the next step of a squeeze page, is called a tripwire funnel. And what that is, that you bring somebody in for a really low cost sample of your product offering or your service offering. And while they are sampling your service, you do the upsell of the bigger service. So what that might translate into for you could be a 1-hour webinar, which is either free or really low cost for business owners who are in your target market. And during that 1-hour session, you talk about things which give them first a sample of what they can learn from what you have to offer, and lead into a bigger program, which might be an upsell at the end of the program. So that's a tripwire funnel, and that's my one strategy which you could probably try out and see if it works for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bob. Thanks for doing this session. This was an awesome podcast, and I'm sure business owners and business coaches can learn a lot of things from what you shared with us today. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you. Have a great day. Appreciate it.
The official podcast of BNI Success Link, your link to success.